Hey, everybody, guess what? We're live this morning with Keith from Nashville Drone Company. How's it going this morning?
Good. How you doing, Donna?
Good, good. Drones have become such a thing. I feel like every event you go to, concert, I always see a drone. So tell me about how this popularity of drones has come around.
Yeah, it's definitely a growing thing. I would say pretty much every business out there, um, are using them. As when I say business, big corporate business, national business, whatever. They're all using them in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it's for marketing or capturing events, um, or exploring properties. The whole drone world is just uh, really exploding because video is king when it comes to content, and
Yeah.
drones can capture footage from views that people don't normally get. So it's attention grabbing, um, which is what made me fall in love with drone videoing and photography.
Yeah. Talk to me about some of the things, you said you fell in love with it. I mean, I always want to make sure that we let people know you can't just take a drone anywhere. There are rules and regulations to that. I know there's a lot of drones on the market people can just buy for home use, but there are some rules that you have to follow to do this.
Yes, there are rules, and like you said, you can go into Best Buy or Costco, and you can buy a drone that the technology is so incredible right now. You can buy a drone; it's like buying an iPhone with all that technology. You can uh,
Yeah.
you can start work, but the FAA controls the airspace. And they treat it the same as if it were, or in a similar way that they would for people flying aircraft, um, manned aircraft. And so, in order to use a drone for commercial purposes, you need to secure a Part 107 license from the FAA. And you have to take a test. It's a written test. It's not a super easy test. There's a lot of the same stuff that a pilot would be required to know. Um, but a lot of people don't realize that is for, when they say commercial purposes. That's even if you just have a YouTube channel and you are videoing content for a YouTube channel. That's considered commercial.
Hmm.
So that's one thing a lot of people don't know. But you can fly just as a hobbyist pilot. But they do require that you go and get a trust certificate now, which you have to go and through this online thing with the FAA. And they teach you a little bit about safety, because that's the
Right.
biggest thing, is safety. And there's a lot of regulations on where you can fly, where you can't fly, and knowing how to tell if you're in a zone, um, where you can fly. You need to know how to do that, how to go about that, and how to get proper authorization. If it's a restricted zone, you can get waivers, but knowing that process is something that you learn through taking the Part 107.
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel like that's good to let people know because, like I said, you just mentioned you can go buy one on the shelf at Best
Mhm.
Buy or Target or any of those places, but there are things that you need to know before you decide to start flying over your neighbor's backyard and taking pictures.
My first week with a drone, I broke every rule I think they have, not knowing. And then
Yeah.
I started looking into it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have I've broken every rule." And there's big fines. There's hefty fines that can come with that. I mean, I know folks who've gotten $15,000 fines for things. The
Wow.
FAA does not mess around, um,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to flying over people, and flying at night, and flying in restricted airspace. A lot of people will break the rules even unknowingly, and then they'll post their video content, and the FAA will come after you. So,
Mm. Okay, so we wanna avoid that, but you've
yes,
got all that done. You have all your permits. I just wanna let people know you've got all the permits, you've got all the things correctly, and that's how you're able to do this. You were talking to me about doing a bunch of live events that you've been working on.
mhm.
Um, Tell us about that.
Yeah, with live events, we capture a lot of different things. We'll capture weddings. Um, we've done some anniversary, big celebration parties. Um, we actually did the live broadcast. We were the drone pilot for the live broadcast of the MLS Final Cup match last August here in Nashville with Messi. But there's still a lot of rules and regulations around that. You cannot just go and fly over people. So, and they put temporary flight restrictions in place for professional sports events. So, like a Titans game or the soccer game, there'll be a TFR in place, which nobody's allowed to fly 2 hours before, 2 hours after, without a waiver. And you still have to abide by the rules. When I did the MLS Final Cup match, I couldn't just go fly over the stadium of people. I was getting the shots more from the outside of the stadium. I could fly right up to the edge, where the people are covered, and use zoom cameras, and you can simulate that you're close and flying over people, but you learn kind of tricks of the trade on how to do that and do it legally. So
those are all great things to know. You mentioned live events and parties. Also, you talked about real estate. If you're trying to sell your home or a farm or a large piece of property, that's drone videos are a great way to do that.
They are. They're one of the best ways. And the past, I guess, 2 years, or during COVID and the 2 years after that, properties were selling quick. So, before they even got an MLS listing up, the property was sold. But now properties are selling a little slower rate, with interest rates as high as they are. And drone video is one of the best things to add to the marketing for selling a home. And we kind of specialize in more luxury real estate. As far as properties, our niche is like cinematic filming and telling a story. And we can really do that with a luxury property or a ranch or a farm. It really kind of falls into our wheelhouse because we love telling a story. We still do. We'll do any home out there, and we're kind of incorporating. We'll do the inside and the outside of a house. So it gives it a kind of an all-in-one package that makes it, kind of a one-stop shop for people.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of real estate agents out there buying drones now. And when they're using them to sell property without a license, they're not doing it legally. But some of them are going and getting their license so that they can throw a drone up in the air and catch that aerial shot. But what we try to focus on is really telling the story that's going to help sell it, and get that person who is viewing it to feel that sense of connection and that they cannot live without that property. So
yeah, which is amazing. I've seen some of those, and it is so kind of draws you in, so to speak. It tells that story, just like you mentioned. We've talked about a lot of different things that you do. If people want more information, they have something coming up, tell us where they can find more information.
Yeah, you can find more information and contact us via our website, which is NashvilleDrone.co. And that's the best place. There's a contact page on there. You'll see our reel. There's a lot of work, stuff that we talk about and do, but that's probably that's the hub for us. Of course, we have, an Instagram channel, a YouTube channel, and that's just, at Nashville Drone Co. But that's the best way to reach us.
All right. Sounds great. Hey, thanks so much for coming on. Tell us about that. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thanks, Donna.